I started cleaning up on it with the frap sander because it had mud, just mud caked along the side, and I didn't even want to put it in that jig. This end's got a considerable amount of punk to it, so I'll probably cut this end. Well, I will cut this end off, and the seat will be just about in the middle. And I think I'm going to start with a cup holder on this end, and the bottom side has a pretty large check. And I say the bottom side, the check is going to go downward, although the check, you can see, goes from the top as well, but the largest check is I'll put on the bottom. It's not even square, but I'm hoping to register this face against the log, and everything else will just fit where it can. It barely will fit in the jig, barely, like maybe a 1/16 of an inch clearance. I may even have to loosen some screws to get it in there. Anyway, that's my next project. This will all be freshly sawn. I'm going to leave this end raw, and like I said, with a about a 3-inch diameter cup holder in the top. We'll see how this goes. This also is going to have 2 holes down each side, and the chain will then run through it, and there'll be a pin going through the side of the timber and through the eyes of the chain. And that will allow some adjustment up or down with the seat. So this is experiment number 2. This piece of wood's been around here about 10 years. I've got wood usually down in this area of the river. This is the inside of a bend. It'll settle down in there, even in the backyard. Some of the stuff that I have up here was actually in the yard. So that's my next project. This is where I want to center my large bottle holder bore. Irrespective of the check. And you might think, well, why don't I just center it on the check? Well, this check is not in the middle of this face, and I want this large diameter to be in the middle of this face. And by the time I get to the depth of this bore, it's going to be, turn around here, this is the top of the seat here, and by the time I bore down to a pretty good depth, yeah, I think you can see that the check will appear to be pretty much in the middle of the bore at the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. And I think I was asked a question this morning, what about drainage? We may end up with some of these checks that would provide a drain when it rains. So we'll just see. There's the bottom. You can see it's pretty well checked. So that's our seat. Can you see that crosshair? Kind of hard to get a light down in there. But anyway, the crosshair is there, and it's perfectly centered on what will be a drill bushing. And since the pilot on our large boring tool is 3/8 of an inch diameter, when I put the pilot hole in the face of that log, that cant, the drill will then at least get started there, and once that large bore drill hits the wood and starts boring, it will center on itself. You'll see that. Anyway, this will be our drill bushing. And again, when I put that large diameter hole in here, when I cut the seat, I'm going to slide this workpiece out of the jig to where the bottle holder will then be offset from what will become the chain holes. So let's take another step. You can see with the drill bushing in place, our workpiece is up against the upper side of the jig, and you can see that the log it's 8 inches wide. In fact, it's 8.5 inches wide. It's actually 8 3/8 because I've got an 1/8 of an inch play, and this jig is 8.5 inches wide. But you can see it's not as tall as it is wide. And we got the one clamping screw here holding it up. Same thing on the other end. One screw, which is fine. I'm just going to drill a pilot hole and then take the log out. In fact, I may leave it in the jig and just slide the log, the workpiece, out of the jig to where I can bore the hole. Maybe that would be best. And that way the jig can help hold the log still. I'm not using my sawhorse cradle today. I've got some log chunks there. Oh well. What I'm about to do is I'm going to take this drill down through here, and we're going to drill just a beginning of a pilot hole in the workpiece, so that the lead screw on the drill will have a place to start. So that's what I'm doing. The nice thing about a jig is it controls exactly where that hole is going to go. That's enough of the pilot. I'm going to go ahead and pull this workpiece through the jig and put the larger hole, the drink holder, in it. So he says. I wanted to mark the center of the log because that's where I wanted to start the hole. It was 8 inches wide, so I put the hole at 4 inches. I didn't want to follow this check because this check is actually on an angle, and by the time I get this hole bored down in here, this check will probably end up being pretty close into the center, but I wanted this large circle to be in the middle of this face. So that's what we did. Tighten up our little screws here. So the workpiece is secure in the jig. The jig has got little rubberized feet on the bottom, so it should stay there. And now I can work on this. Oh boy. Everybody got the popcorn ready? Find a reverse here. I'm going to blow air. Just stay where you are. Stay where you are. Cool beans. Well, on a swing, at least you're not going to lose your cup or your drink. What do you think, Tyler? Cool stuff, huh? I believe that is a poplar log. It is a Sandiflex. with a dead battery. But you can see what to pull out more, you just loosen this little button there and pull out some fresh sandpaper. They're like little fingers. And if you get it too big, this thing will really move some air. But sometimes I'll trim it off. But that fresh sandpaper will really do a lot of sanding. And the cup holder hole, I want to center it. If you'll look at this, what we've got over here, I know this is 5 inches from the end. It's 8 inches wide, and rather than making it 4 inches, I kind of wanted to give it a little relish. It's called relish. I wanted to give it a little relish out here. So that's 5 inches from the end. Well, let's put the center of the chain holes at about 5 inches. About. So now we've got the cup holder, the end, and the chain will come through 2 holes that'll be bored down through the workpiece. So that's where we're going to station this workpiece, is right there. And I'm going to cut a seat in it. Okay. Okay. A little bit further along there. Oh, here we go. Start up here at the highest point of the middle, and I'm going to sweep it in this direction, and on the far side I will sweep it in that direction. I'll probably sweep this side from over here, then I'll come around and sweep that side from over there. I want to get a little bit better finish. I cut a little bit too deep right here and right here, and I believe I can clean that up, but you really need a tight chain to do this, because once you start tilting the bar, that chain is going to want to cut deeper. So if I'm back sweeping, all the material below that cutting path of the chain has already been cut, and the material to be cut is still on this side of the chain. So that's the theory behind all this. So let's see what we can do from this point. I'm not 100% pleased with that. I've got two areas that I want to try to clean up. I'm going to go ahead and reset these guides to allow the chain to go a little bit deeper, and we're going to get that looking real good. So let me go ahead and tighten, reset these, and then we'll be right back. Ready? There's our seat. Go ahead and sand around the edges just a little bit. Did put a new battery in here. Just going to be a simple little cutoff here. get a good shot of this. This is the back side of the cut. There's virtually no tear out at all. We've got some really soft wood. Whoops. Get this shot right here. No tear out whatsoever. This is fairly hardwood. It's poplar, but it's real punky up here. So that's from a beaver tooth grind chain that I grind. Only available right here in Sevierville, Tennessee.